Let's see. Well, we have to see if it downloads. Oh, it looks like we're live. Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to the A to Z English live podcast weekly review live stream. It's good to see we've already got some people replying over in the side as well. Just so that everyone knows, because this is our first time doing a live stream here. We did one a little while ago with Robin, but we've lost our big friend Robin today, and it's just the two of us. Yep. So just for everyone who can't who isn't aware, because you've only heard our voices, as Robin says, I am Kevin
and I'm Jack.
So now you actually know who we are
what we
here.
Look like. Yeah,
and it's good to see everybody here. Jack is with the hat. That's right, Riri.
I'm usually wearing a hat. That's
he's pretty much always wearing a hat.
I'm always wearing a hat. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a hat guy. Yeah.
So for everyone here, most of you know that Jack and I have an English podcast that we release a couple of episodes every week for you all to listen and learn and practice from. And starting today, every week, every Friday at about this time, we are planning to do a live stream so we can talk to you here. But we want to talk about the things that we talked about this past week in our podcast episodes. So this past week, Jack, what did we talk about this past week?
So this past week, we had 3 episodes, actually. One of our special episodes was an interview with Layla. Unfortunately, Layla won't be able to join us for this live stream.
And I'm going to put the links in. So the Layla's interview is, I'm typing in the YouTube.
Oh, you don't have to. The links are already in the description on YouTube. So
even better.
Yep, I put all the links to the episodes are already in the description. And so
I see you did.
Layla's interview was one. The second one was holidays. So if you have any questions about holidays, feel free to write that in the comments and we will try to answer that. We can add information, a few more details than what we said in the podcast. But we're really interested in your information, your stories as well. And the last one was
we'd like to know about
idioms
like about international holidays. Idioms with prepositions.
I'm so curious about international holidays, actually, because there's so many that we don't know about. So educate us.
So let's start with that though, with holidays. And hi Kevinu over there.
Robin's still waiting for the free pizza.
He's still waiting for that. He's still waiting for that pizza.
Might take a while. Yeah.
I'm gonna give him digital pizza. That's all I got.
All right.
So
we got Cavino. Okay.
We can start with some holidays just to get things going, right? So everybody out there, hopefully you've listened to our holiday episode. And if not, as Jack said, it's in the comments down below, so you can go ahead and check that and listen to it later, of course. But holidays, in that episode, Jack, I said that one of my favorite holidays was Thanksgiving. And actually here in Korea, because you and I are here, next weekend, 2 weeks from now, is basically Korean Thanksgiving. Are you ready?
Yeah. Not yet. I usually prepare mentally a day or two before. I'm not like a big I don't think about it too far ahead of time.
So what do you do for Korean Thanksgiving? Do you go to your wife's family's house?
Yeah, that's right. We go to my wife's mother's house. Thanksgiving in Korea is very similar to Thanksgiving in America. The food is different, of course.
Of course.
But you get together with your family and you just have a feast. So there's just so much food.
Lots of food.
Yeah, I eat so much and then I have to add another loop to my belt. Do
you help with the cooking at all or anything?
No, I don't actually. One thing that I started doing is I'll I'll clean a little bit. So
Ah,
I'll grab
that's
the
good.
vacuum cleaner and I'll just start vacuuming the floor and
Okay.
do yeah, I just try to like do something so I'm not standing there like a total jerk without, having helped anything. But if you ask me to help in the kitchen, I would only make things worse. I wouldn't make anything better. So
One
it
thing I actually do some helping here, but there's one thing that they make here in for Korean Thanksgiving for Chuseok, where it's, do you know songpyeon, right? And so for everyone out there listening, songpyeon is basically, it's like a rice cake, Korean style rice cake that is made like dumplings. And inside they put like some kind of sweet nuts and honey and things, and then close it up and then cook it. But with those, when you make those, you're supposed to make them very pretty, right? You're supposed to make them look very nice. I'm really bad at making them look very nice. So my job is, I don't get to make the songpyeon itself. Instead, I help to make the dough, basically the rice cake dough, because it takes a lot of like force, a lot of
muscles.
strength to like, yeah, you need muscles to basically knead the dough
You
again and
can't
push and
you
push
can't
and push.
see, but behind below the camera frame, Kevin actually has some pretty big muscles. So
I don't know about big, but I have some. So yeah, I that's my job for Thanksgiving, is not so much the cooking, but I help with preparing for the food.
okay. So Robin says, which one is Jack and which one is Kevin? I'm confused. So
We
what
did
did we
that at the
say?
beginning.
Yeah, Jack is the hat guy, Kevin no
Yep.
hat. Okay. Just for those that just showed up here. And hello May and hello Riri. Nice to see you. Um, did we miss anybody? Did we say hello to
And there's a
Kavino?
few.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
Fidar. Okay.
and
Sorry, I
then
just wanted to make sure we get everybody. Keep going. Yeah.
Kavinu, can you click that one? He said, "Can you both cook?" What about you? Can you cook, Jack?
Man, I can't cook. I can make a sandwich, I can cook an egg, but if you ask me to, make something actually, good and delicious and interesting, I'm not a good cook. What about our listeners out there? Can anybody cook?
Yeah, or do you help for the holidays? The
Yeah.
holidays in so many places, I mean, in Korea and in America, not always, and that's why I try and help, because so often these big holidays, it's the women in the family who do all of the cooking, and that seems not fair. So I try to help where and when I can. Even though I'm not cooking, I try and help with the cooking.
Well, I was listening to your story. Sorry, I'm kind of looking at the comments at the same time, but I did help my mother-in-law make songpyeon, which is
Oh,
a
nice.
sweet rice cake one time.
Right.
But I could tell after they cooked them, or I guess they steam them, right?
Right.
It's
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 steamed.
steamed. Yeah. So after they steamed them, I could tell which ones were mine and which ones were not mine. Mine were all the ugly ones. So
Exactly. That's why I don't.
yeah.
Well, and I don't want to say this because Jack, you have a daughter, but one of the things that they say here in Korea for songpyeon is, if you make pretty songpyeon, you're gonna have a pretty daughter. So
Okay.
so hopefully your daughter escaped your ugly songpyeon curse.
Yeah, I think she did. It must have been my wife's songpyeon. The ones that she
That
made were very
that's
nice.
good to hear.
Just a quick just looking at the comments here. Riri and Uni are both chefs. They love to cook. And
Whoa,
so
nice.
yeah. My question to you guys is, do you like in Korea, like not traditionally, but there is a kind of belief that some people really don't like the holidays, especially women, because they have to do a lot of work, a lot of cooking, and a lot of cleaning. And so some of them actually kind of dread the holiday. It's like
Yeah,
it's almost like a job, and
right.
so they'd rather just go to work and not have to deal with it. So I'm
Yeah,
wondering, is
for
that
some of
true
the
anywhere?
women in Korea, I think maybe it's changing a bit, but holidays seem to still be kind of, yeah, dominated with that. Again, that's why I try and help at least a little. but there's only so much that they trust me to do. Most things they won't let me touch because I will break it.
Okay. Layla's asking us, are you going to do your live stream every Friday? Kev?
That's the plan. We hope to. And Jack, try and click these comments so they pop up
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
I've been forgetting to do that. Okay.
No
Are
problem.
you going to do your live stream every
So
Friday?
we're hoping to do the live stream every Friday. So yeah, be here this
Mhm.
time every week, where again we're going to be talking about our episodes from the previous week, primarily, and other
Yeah.
things as well.
This one's a little off topic, but we could try to get all the comments here. If your life could be exactly how you want it to be, how would it be?
Pretty much exactly how it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't change anything. It's perfect.
Here talking with everybody around the world is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Kavinu, if I cook something, it would be the worst. It would definitely be the worst. Yes, that is exactly the way that I cook as well. So you're not alone. Don't feel bad.
Go
Yeah.
down to the bottom comment. Riri said that she loves holiday time here, especially and Riri, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong. Eid ul Fitri. What is that? What holiday is that, Riri? The Eid ul Fitri. Where when what kind of holiday is that? Um,
I think I know what
I'm
this one is, actually. I can answer this because Layla
Do you know?
actually just wrote. Layla is one of our listeners. We just interviewed her this week, and she answered the questions for
Ah,
holidays. And she said there's actually two Muslim holidays, or two holidays in Islam that start with. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Eid or Eid, uh, and this is
I'm
one of
sorry, I don't
them.
know either.
And so, yeah, one of them, Layla said that they cook a sheep, prepare
Whoa,
a sheep, and then the other one is more,
nice.
it's like family and friends. It's less, you don't have to do the sheep thing. So, it's kind of interesting, but I think it's a very famous, a very popular traditional Islamic
Here,
holiday.
I'm
Yeah.
on Wikipedia right now. Ah,
Oh, after
Eid
fasting for a month,
el
right?
Fitr is, yeah, the holiday of breaking fasts. So is that after religious celebrated by Muslims every day, month long? That's after Ramadan. Okay, yeah. Of
After
course, I know about
Ramadan,
Ramadan, but so it's
yeah.
the day. So that's, I mean, that's similar to Chuseok or Thanksgiving, right? It's going to be a big feast day here.
Yeah.
A
Minus
lot
the
of food,
fasting. Yeah.
minus
I
the
just pretty
fasting.
much, yeah. I'm
There's a picture of the
overeating.
food here on Wikipedia. This looks delicious. There's a lot of like sweet things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I wonder what kind of foods they have for those holidays, and how long it takes to prepare.
Okay. I guess the plan for this was to have you guys ask questions about the last three episodes, which were, prepositions, or sorry, idioms with prepositions and holidays. But I'm getting a lot of questions not related to food. And maybe we can just expand this a little bit, because this is our first live stream, to just try to answer as many of your questions as possible. So let's see here. Kev, I've found this one is very interesting. Elaborate your career plans for the next 5 years. Weren't we talking about plans in one of our idiom episodes? Something
Um,
that is up in the air?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, my plans for the next 5 years are to have more and more people here in the live stream.
Yeah.
I'm happy in Korea, so I think in 5 years I'll probably be here still
Yeah, me
doing a
too.
lot of the same things.
Yeah, my focus is definitely our focus is definitely on
Up in the
building up
air,
this
yeah,
podcast.
uni.
Yeah.
That's a good use of the expression. We are my plans are only kind of up in the air. I still plan to be here, but I don't know exactly what I'll be doing.
Oh, okay. And Neki says that we pronounced it. You can id or id is okay.
Hmm.
So I think we're okay. We're
I'm
doing
sticking with
fine.
aid. I like that one
Aid.
better. I
Oh,
don't know
maybe
why.
I'm wrong. Maybe not id. Aid or id, maybe something like
Aid.
that. Okay. Yeah. Kevin's the you're the language expert. You speak Korean and you speak English, so
Not a language
yeah.
expert, but yeah, I'm does
Yeah. Now we have Little Dreamer. Little Dreamer likes to cook and experiment with food. So, Kev, what's the
oh nice.
most kind of experimental dish that you have ever prepared?
I don't really experiment. Although actually, Robin, this one's for you. Probably the best thing that I can cook from scratch, right? Meaning from nothing. I actually make pretty good pizza. I can make the dough, I can make the sauce, and then toppings are easy. So that's probably one of the best things that I can cook, and people think it's really impressive. It's like you made pizza, but it's actually surprisingly easy. Making dough is not that difficult. Making the sauce is probably the hardest part of it, actually, and then toppings. That's super easy. So that's probably the best thing that I can cook. And when I get experimental with it, it's just different sauce or different toppings, right? It doesn't have to be a red sauce. I'll do like
What's the
green sauce or
craziest
barbecue
topping that
sauce.
you put on a pizza? What's the strangest
The
topping?
craziest topping? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't go that crazy with toppings. I think some of my favorites that were like a white sauce pizza with spinach and bacon on it. Like I like to keep it kind of
That
simple.
sounds delicious, actually. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now everybody that's ever watched television knows that to make a pizza, you have to throw it up in the air and spin it. Can you do that? Can you
I
do
have
the
not
Okay.
done that. I because when you do that, so my brother used to work in a pizza place when we were in university, actually, and so he learned how to do that, but he just worked at a fast food pizza place, not like,
Mhm.
some small shop. But he was able to do that because he doesn't care if it gets messy, right? So if you're tossing the dough around,
Yeah, flour is
there's
going
flour
everywhere.
just
Yeah.
everywhere in your house. And if I do that and there's flour everywhere in my house, then that's how I get a divorce. So yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I keep it simple. I put it on the counter and I roll it out on there. Layla, see
Ah,
you next time. You said you've got to go. Have a good day. Thanks for joining, even just for a little bit.
yeah, thank you. Thanks, Layla. So let's see here. Riri asks, how about Korean food? Have you tried to make it or help your wife cooking it?
So with Korean food, I actually probably cooked a bit more Korean food when I was even before I got married. But most of mine wasn't really cooking Korean food. I would like go to the store and buy it pre-made and just put it in the pan and just heat it up and it was done. Or I would like make kimchi soup, which is super easy. It's just kimchi, tuna, water, done. Have you ever tried to make any Korean foods, Jack?
Yeah, I can make a couple of Korean foods. I
Oh,
don't know
nice.
if
What
our
what have you
listeners
got?
are familiar, but I make a pretty mean bibimbap. And
Oh, okay.
bibimbap is it has you put some rice in, some vegetables. It's just basically mixed vegetables with some spicy sauce and fried egg on top
Yeah,
of
that's
it.
an important part of it.
Yeah, if you don't have the fried egg, it's not to me. It's not a traditional. It's not a real bibimbap without the
Hmm.
egg. The other thing I can make is something that's called doenjang jjigae. Jjigae is a stew, and doenjang is a fermented bean. It's kind of like
Bean
it's just
paste.
stinky, yeah, but it tastes really good. And you just chop up vegetables, potato, some onions, some spring onion. You can throw like lots of stuff in there, mushrooms, and you just put it on the stove, wait till it boils, and so it's pretty. Korean food can be pretty easy to prepare. But yeah, I'm just too lazy to do it these days.
I think Korean food, I'm going to disagree with you on it being pretty easy. Although there's some things. Bibimbap itself is not too hard, and like kimchi jjigae is not so hard. But the problem with Korean food is that, unlike American food, where we'll have two or three things, right? We'll have like the main meat dish, and then some vegetable, and then some salad, right? Like
Hmm.
that's dinner for American food. Korean food, you'll have rice, the main, and then you've got 10 different side dishes. And so that's the problem with Korean food is you have to make all of those different side dishes. And so Korean food takes a lot of work because there's so many small things to prepare for. Instead of just one big thing, you've got to prepare all of these other little things as well.
That's a
And
good
that's
point.
what's
Yeah.
tough about Korean food.
That's right, and the some of the people that make Korean food. These, your mother-in-law, your grandmother, they've been doing it for so many years. They've got
Mm,
it down perfect. So if
right,
I try to make
right.
it, it's going to be terrible compared to their dish. So May wrote, I cook instant noodles. Now, for those of you that have ever heard of, Korean food, you have to have heard of ramen, right? So, Kev, how often do you eat ramen?
Not very often, actually. Not so much. But I mean, ramen is really interesting because it's like instant noodles are different in every country you go to. So like
Mm-hmm.
Japanese ramen is kind of the original, and then Korean has ramyun, which is I quite like the Korean ramyun for like the instant ones. But then when I was in Thailand and Indonesia as well, they've also got instant noodles, but they're different flavors and different brands and different styles as well. Even different from the American ones also. May, while you're listening, you said you cook instant noodles. How do you make your instant noodles interesting? In Korea, when I make ramen here, and the same question for you, Jack, how do you make your instant noodles interesting? I'll often add just like an egg
Yeah.
to it, right? That's one of the easy things. What else do might you add?
You can really, uh, I was gonna say soup up a ramen, but no pun intended there. Yeah, you can really add anything to it. So I've actually chopped up potato, thrown it
A
in there.
potato?
Yeah,
Really?
just like boil potato and
But potatoes take a little bit of time to boil. The noodles are probably done before the potato is soft.
oh, no, no, no. You boil the potatoes first in another
Uh,
pot.
that's
Get
too
them
much
nice
work.
and soft. Yeah, but it's just like, but you just, if you want to make it healthier, you just
Fair
throw
enough.
in like lots of nice vegetables, onions, potatoes, and then you just put all that stuff in the soup, and yeah, crack an egg in there,
Mm.
and it's fantastic. So
Adding another other common
yeah,
things here in Korea that people will add are like tuna or onion, spring onion, like the long leek, the long green onions. People add that to ramen really commonly.
yeah. We've gotten way off track already. We're just talking about food. We're not talking about holidays.
I mean,
Uh,
I think that's probably not
holidays are
so
food, right?
unexpected. Holidays are
Yeah,
food. You know, I mean, when you
yeah.
think about like we talked about this in our episode last week when we talked about Halloween, and even Halloween, although you're making the jack-o'-lanterns for decoration, right? I said with my family we would take the seeds and cook them. So
Mm,
even Halloween has foods, right? And Halloween is candy as well. So Chuseok or Thanksgiving, there's a lot of food there. Christmas has a lot of food. Valentine's Day, which is just like a single, a simple couples holiday, even that has food. It's candy and chocolates, but there's still
yeah.
food associated. So every holiday, I think, is food connected in some ways.
It's a huge part of the holiday. I'm trying to think. So mine was Halloween and yours was Thanksgiving, but
Thanksgiving,
Halloween doesn't really have like a meal that's necessarily attached to it. But if I
not a
were
meal, but
to,
there's still,
yeah.
yeah. Click the bottom comment, Jack. Food's an
Oh, okay.
international language. Yeah, I think uni is correct. Food is an international language, and that's the fun part about it. Like if I can't speak to you, at least we can eat together still. And there's
Yeah.
delicious food all around the world that we can still share in common or talk about. Food is something that all people need and all people enjoy everywhere in the world. So yeah,
Everybody in the
definitely.
chat knows I love talking about food. So if someone's having a conversation about food, I'll jump in there. I'm very interested in that. I was gonna say if I had to choose the best food from a holiday, I like Christmas food better than Thanksgiving food. I think because in Christmas we have a Christmas ham,
Uh,
and yeah,
Christmas and
I really
Thanksgiving are
enjoy.
often similar. Hey, CB
Yeah.
just said take questions. So CB, what questions do you have for us? We'll answer what questions you have. Anything about holidays or the
Okay, let me
prepositions that
see.
we talked about in the idioms as well. Any questions? We're happy to talk.
Yeah, we'll take questions for sure. Oh, Uni says sup up. Is that mean what's up?
No, no, no.
Sup?
That's because you said when you were talking about ramen, you said to soup up something. She
Oh,
was wondering
soup
what that
up.
meant.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay,
so
okay.
yeah, Jack was trying to make a joke. Jack is an old man, and I mean I'm old too, but he makes a lot of old man jokes. And so he was
This is
souping
true.
up a soup. And this is another kind of an idiom. If you soup something up, it means kind of to just add things to make it special and make it interesting. Right. So if you soup up your pizza, you're adding extra toppings to it. If you soup up a speech, you add extra ways and extra interesting things to say to it. So anything that you
Mhm.
soup up, you make it better and make it cooler.
But
What else can we soup up?
usually
Yes,
it's
exactly,
talking
Uni.
about
SOUP.
automobiles, cars. So
The other one.
you would
Yeah.
soup up an automobile, which means you put a bigger engine in it so that's faster. It's a more
Yep.
of a muscle car, so it's
A souped
souped
up
up.
car.
Yeah, souped up. Yeah. So sorry about that. I used that's another strange idiom that I threw in there. So
We'll probably get
anyway,
to those when we talk about food idioms. There's a lot
yeah.
of food idioms in English, and we will get to these later. There's so many. We're taking it slow, just doing 3 a week for now.
How do you spell it? How do you spell soup up? Is it spelled like soup, SOUP?
Yeah, I've never written it down. I've
All right,
always just said it,
I just
but I
said
would
it, but
assume so.
I'll tell you what, Kev, you talk. I'm going to I'll research this really quickly here.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can look at the
soup
comments
up.
that we've got here. So yeah, Sibi as well. There's another "life is not a cakewalk." Another food idiom is a good one.
Oh yeah,
Um, yeah, so there's so many food idioms. We'll definitely get to
yeah.
those. Those will take a few weeks to get through because there's just
Uh,
a ton of food ones.
soup up is spelled like soup,
Yeah,
SOUPUP.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
soup up. Yeah, yeah. Let's see here. We got Riri said when I cook instant noodles, I'll put it up on the chat on
Oh,
the
nice.
screen there. I usually fried an onion, put chili, some vegetables, eggs, soy sauce. Yeah, boom,
Oh.
fantastic. My mouth is watering right now. I'm so hungry.
You're hungry. It's almost bedtime, Jack. Don't eat now. That's not healthy.
I know. That's the best time to eat is at night when everyone's sleeping. Um, that sounds pretty spicy. That's definitely like how I would eat noodles in Thailand. You know, some soy sauce, maybe a little fish sauce.
Hmm.
Yeah, very good, very
So
good.
when you add the noodles, I know we're going off topic from holiday again though, but for
Hmm.
Riri or for you, Jack, when you add the egg to your noodles, do you add it at the beginning and like stir it around so it's all the little pieces of egg? I like to add mine right at the end so that, or not at the end, sorry, I add it, it's kind of towards the beginning. I don't break it so that it kind of just cooks together as one egg. Or you can add it at the end and mix it all around.
No, I add it at the end. I mix it all around. I
Do
like,
you go for
yeah,
that
I
way?
like all those. Yeah, but here's, we could leave on this one. This is a good debate, and I would love to hear from our listeners either in the chat or quick in the comments. You can write it. When you're cooking noodles, instant noodles, uh, do you add the seasoning first? And
Uh,
then add the noodles last? Or do you boil the noodles first and then add the seasoning last?
I
So
think
I'm a
in most,
noodles first, seasoning last person. That's the way I do
but
it
but
always.
Jack, I think you're doing it wrong. I mean, I'm not saying this because like that's just my personal opinion. In almost every case, if you look at the directions for the noodles, like on the package, it says add the seasoning first and then add the noodles. It says add the seasoning, bring it to a boil. I understand if you want to do it differently, but that's
Kevin,
wrong.
all due respect, you're crazy. You're a crazy human being. You always boil the noodles first, and then you add the powder last. And I'm standing by it. That's my answer. It's the right way.
Fair
Everybody
enough,
else is
fair enough.
wrong.
I
Okay,
mean, when I used to do
prove me
noodles
wrong.
when
Okay,
I was in university, I used to pour almost all the water out and just do it like just
just
have the
eat it
noodles in
like
there.
yeah, like spaghetti or something like that, like a
Almost.
pasta dish.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. We want yeah. We should switch over to like some idioms here. So um.
What were
Oh,
the
it says
idioms from
keep
that
talking
episode
like
again?
idioms. So the idioms from that was like get over it, up in the
Yeah,
air,
yeah. You
and
need to get over it for sure, Jack, because you're cooking noodles wrong.
oh,
You're
okay,
just doing
okay.
it wrong.
I wish I had a good comeback idiom. I can't think of one. What was the other one in that episode? It was get
You need
over
to
it,
get on the ball, Jack, and think
get
of
on the
some idioms
ball.
that are better to use because you're just
I should
slacking
have
on
told you
here.
to get on the ball and cook your noodles before you add the powder,
You should have, but it's
the
too late.
flavoring.
I got you with your own idiom game.
Yeah, that's true. So Uni says she likes us talking in idiom all the time. So that's interesting. Okay. Well, we'll try to use more idioms when we speak.
We definitely will, but also uni next week because we're gonna be talking about next week's idioms. Feel free to come in and try and use the idioms yourselves, and we can talk about how they were used with this next week. What are we going to talk? Next week is our first week. We're talking about money idioms. There's a bunch of idioms that deal with money as well, and we've actually got a few episodes of money idioms coming up. And next week is the first one. We've got a few money idioms for next week. So listen to that episode, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Now,
You
Robin
can
has
practice with
a
those.
comment, and he says, yeah, I remember I did. I used the idiom throw someone under the bus in Layla's episode. When we were talking about Layla, I was trying to get Layla to say that she
Mm,
speaks English better than her brother, but she wouldn't
right.
say that. She was like, I don't know. And she protected her brother like a
I
good
remember that.
sister. Yeah. So, what does that mean, Kevin, to throw somebody under the bus?
It
Like, you
means
just threw me
to
under the bus about the noodle thing, right? No,
yeah,
sorry.
to
Go ahead.
throw someone under the bus means that I'm protecting myself by using you, basically. So I'm throwing you. I'm yeah, using you to make myself look better. Make you
Yeah.
look bad.
What is the idiom? The idiom comes from this, like, imagine a bus is coming at you and it's going to hit you and one other person, and you just throw the other person under the bus, and then you're
Right.
safe,
So I'm
but the
protecting
other
myself.
right. So you protect yourself. Right. Okay. So that's the meaning of to throw someone under the bus. It's basically the same as to stab someone in the back. That's another
Almost.
idiom.
I
Similar, right?
think though in some ways it is, yeah, but if you're stabbing someone in the back, it's more like deliberate, like you're going against them, whereas throwing someone under the bus is just using them to protect yourself, whereas stabbing someone in the back, that's just hurting them. It might not be protecting you.
Yeah. Okay. So to throw someone under the bus is just to basically like put all the blame and everything on them and just protect yourself, he did it, she did it, and that's throwing someone under the bus.
Right, right,
Uh,
right. Exactly.
we got a couple of other interesting comments here.
All right, let's do a couple more
So
comments and then wrap up for the night before it gets too
yeah.
late.
Well, May says when talking about food, everyone is happy. That is definitely true. I am always happy when talking about food. You can see my face just lights up. Um,
It's true.
Life is not a cakewalk. Yeah, there you go. Not a cakewalk. What
Another
about a
food idiom.
cakewalk? Yeah, another food idiom. Money talks. That's from our. We did a money. We have some money idioms coming out soon.
Yeah, that's
So
what I was just
that
saying.
was, yeah, pretty interesting. So what does that mean to say money talks?
Money's important. It's yeah, that you can get whatever you want with money.
There you go. Yep. And May had one more really good comment here, and I wanted to make sure that I read it. And May, I'm so sorry, I cannot find it. Bear with me. Let me see here. Okay. I'm sorry, I lost it. Kev,
That's fine.
do you
Let's
have one more that you want to use that you want to throw
no,
out
let's
there?
go ahead and wrap up here because we're way off topic from our. Oh, you've clicked that anyway.
Mhm.
So the main thing, oh, that's a good one, Kev. Yeah, when I was in Sri Lanka, I'm trying to remember what specific foods we had. We went into this one really small shop one night and bought these like really interesting little. I don't know the names of any of them. They were like these flat like egg kind of rolls that was like that were cooked up. But yeah, there was a lot of really cool things, and then tea. My wife and I drank a lot of
Mhm.
tea when we were there. We went
Yeah,
to like 5 different tea farms and factories and things, of course, when we were there.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, Sri
Wait,
Lanka was
can we
a
do
beautiful
one
country.
last one?
Sure, what you
This
got?
one is a good one. So Little Dreamer has a good question here, and I think this is a good one to finish on. Which country's food do you like the most? So we have to choose. This is a tough one for me because I love food in
I can give you a
general.
top three. I can't give you a number one.
Okay, give me a top three. Give us a top
My
three.
top three in no order. I don't know which of these is better, but my top three are Mexican food because I grew up near Mexico,
Mm.
Thai food just because I love spicy, and Korean food because I live in Korea. Those are probably my three favorites, but I don't know which is number one from those.
I don't think you would have to choose because I'm pretty sure that those three foods would work really well as a fusion.
Oh, I mean, there's definitely Korean burritos that people do,
Yeah.
like kimchi burritos and
Galbi
things.
tacos and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so I have to choose mine now. Okay, I do love Mexican food, but I lived in Thailand for 3 years. I've lived in
Mm,
Korea for 20 years. But Korea seems like the too obvious a choice, right? So I'm gonna say Thai food is my favorite food because it has those little chili peppers that are super spicy, and your mouth is on fire when you eat them.
yep.
I love that. I love it. So yeah, I'll take the spicy Thai food as my number
Nice.
one. Yeah. So there you go.
All right. So for everyone who was watching, thanks for joining. We will be uploading this for anyone else who wants to listen to later as well. And remember that you can join us in our WhatsApp groups and you can talk about things there with us or just join in the conversation anytime. Next week, we'll be here at the same time. And again, we're going to talk about next week's episodes. So next week are 2 episodes that we're going to be talking about with you. Our first quick chat that will come out early in the week is we had kind of a silly question. We asked, do you want to travel to space? Because we
Yeah.
like
Right.
traveling. So
Yeah.
would you want to travel to space or not? So you can look forward to that. And then we've got another idioms question or idioms podcast coming up where that will be the first idioms episode talking about money idioms. And there's a few money idioms, but this will be the first one of those. And then we'll have a couple more of those coming up. So maybe before you listen to these topics coming up, think about it ahead of time. Do you want to travel to space? Think about what Jack and I said when we talked about
Mm-hmm.
it. And then think about those money idioms. And next week, come and tell us your stories. Would you want to travel to space? Yes, no, why not? Do you agree with what Jack and I said? And give us some examples of the idioms that we use, our money idioms, in the episode that will come out next week as well. And we'll be happy to talk about any of those things with you there.
All right. That sounds great. Thanks, everybody. We will catch you
Have a good night,
next
everybody.
Friday. Bye-bye. All right. Thank you.
Live messages to dead drops, cool paints on hard stops, ideas and mobility, engage, interlock, dead shot, straight to the heart of the antimatter surely, invisible university through to the anonymous observatory.